Hey guys, it's Adam aka Swimming Bird, and welcome to a new snapshot for Minecraft 1.11, the Exploration Update. This is 16W42A, bringing a handful of changes this week as we get closer and closer to the full release, but still some interesting stuff to cover and important features, including a buff to our new creepy little friends, the Vexes. So let's get into it. Now first off, arrows have a critical hit tag, as you can see, crit. And when you summon them in this way, they will have that trail of particles just like when you fully charge your bow, denoting that they're going to do more damage. So this is probably not too useful to most players, but if you're a map maker or a minigame creator, I'm sure you'll find a nice way to use these more deadly arrows. But the Vexes are the real stars this week. They have received a major damage buff, just like the Vindicators before them, and I'm thinking the Evokers here are next in line to get a buff before the full release. So Vexes, in previous snapshots, they only did 1.5 hearts of damage on easy, 2 hearts of damage on normal, and 3 hearts of damage on hard. And that's not even factoring in defense points of armor and toughness on diamond armor. So it made them kind of just like annoyances that phased in and out of the walls and bit you like mosquitoes with their little swords, not doing much damage. Of course, the new Woodland Mansion dungeon is supposed to be an end game challenge, but a lot of players in the early snapshots found it too easy, so that's why they're buffing a lot of this stuff. And they want to, it's hard to find one of these, obviously, too, so you want it to be worth your while, not just in terms of loot, but also in terms of challenge. So the Vindicators, they do that 9.5 hearts of damage to you on hard difficulty now, meaning they can almost one-shot you if you have no armor, so they're a lot tougher, and the Vexes have followed suit. They now do 2.5 hearts of damage on easy, 4.5 hearts on normal, and 7.5 on hard. So not quite as tough as the Vindicators, but of course, these guys are going to be summoned in groups of 3 or so. So they are going to fly in and out and make it very tough to hit them. They're going all over the place and doing a good amount of damage now. So I'm excited that they're even creepier than they were before with their ghostly horse whinny noise that they make. It's very spooky. So one little nerf that they did receive, though, there was a buff or a bug in the previous snapshots where if you had a Thorns enchantment on and the Vexes hit you, they wouldn't take any Thorns damage, but now they properly do, so that's nice that they changed that. And I definitely want to see the Evoker at least get an HP buff, because these guys have powerful attacks, obviously, but they only take a handful of hits and just kind of run around, making them easy targets, and then you very easily get the new Totem of Undying, which is one of the main reasons to go to the Woodland Mansion. And I did see people throwing around thoughts about how maybe because the totems are kind of tough to find, you can only get a couple per these rare dungeons, maybe they should be rechargeable, like you could put gold or some type of material that isn't used that much into them to recharge them. I'd like to see that as well. And another big change that I want to mention too, that I would like to see, and a lot of people have been talking about this recently, is the Elytra Wings. They are kind of limited because you can't really boost with them unless you do some of the little tricks people have done with punch arrows to knock you farther up into the air. And there was a really cool gif of somebody fighting a ghast that way that lead developer Jeb did post. So I think he might be thinking about Elytra boosting. But anyways, back to this snapshot. I just wanted to talk about a few things that I think might get changed before 1.11 comes out. But the observer blocks, if you're curious about all the changes to the observer blocks and the bugs that they're working on, no big changes this week, really. I think they're still ironing that stuff out, and they want to make sure the redstone people are happy, or anyone who's going to use the observers. Obviously, they need to be useful and unique from just the normal buds that we have in the game. So I think they're still tweaking those to try to make them nice and ready to go. But a few bug fixes that I wanted to mention: witches that spawn in their huts. They were not being persistent, and now they will stick around just like the villagers in the normal villages. They won't despawn, so that is a nice change. And then the maps, after you made them in the end or brought them into the end, if you left the end, they would break for whatever reason, but that's been fixed. And last but not least, the skeletons and wither skeletons in the end, the nether rather, they were spawning all over the place, so you could find them wherever. That definitely made the nether a bit scarier, but they're meant to be a challenge that you would see when you go to the fortress, so that has been fixed as well. But making the nether a little bit safer, but you still have to deal with gas and everything, obviously. Okay, so that's mostly it for this week. just a bunch of bug fixes and a few minor changes, but I can tell that they've been, commenting, the developers have, on the observer blocks and how they're working on those. So we'll probably at least see that before the pre-release, and hopefully a nice buff to the Evokers. I really would like to see the Woodland Mansion a big challenge, and if you want the easy way, of course, you can just burn it down because it is made of wood. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this. If you'd like to subscribe, we will have more Minecraft on the way in the future, and I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.